The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Blackjack, a jackalope folk warlock.
I'm Kim Cross, and I play Beatrix, a Tabaxi rogue.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play Twitch, a rat folk necromancer.
I'm Brooke Bullock, and I play Zionci, a spiderkin cleric.
I'm Gary Hester, and I play Billy, a Folsom fighter.
And I'm Connor Shenold, your DM. Join us now for Tales from the Wilds. So, after going through a tragic memory of Oribos, you meet up with him in the sitting room outside his room, and after a bit of coaxing, you get him to agree to let you into his private study. The door opens to reveal a cozy private study. A desk faces the door with a cushy lounge chair behind it, with several more bookshelves lining the walls. Something about this room feels smaller than it should.
This is a lovely, lovely room.
Thank you.
It seems a bit, I don't know exactly how to explain it. I feel like it's maybe constricted.
It can feel that way a little bit. I'm usually the only one who uses it, so.
So it's a desk and one chair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Beatrix, why don't you go look over at the desk and see if you can find anything, and I tap her and give her guidance.
I'm going to distract that while more romance novels, I assume, as I mosey over to the bookshelf.
I see you've been checking out my collection. What do you think?
Extensive.
Yeah. I know romance isn't for everybody.
Billy cannot read, but I like the pictures on the front. Can Billy walk around the edges of the room trying to measure and figure out if there's a room behind this room?
Billy, that'll be an intelligence check.
18.
Okay, so as you are looking at the desk, you see on it there is a small bag that looks familiar, and it seems to match the same design as Rondura's.
Her satchel?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a lovely bag. Seems to match Rondura's bag.
Why would you have Rondura's bag or a simile of Rondura's bag on your desk?
I collect quite a few items from my friends.
You collect items from your friends.
Yes,
Like they give them to you?
of course.
Oh, okay. 'Tis not thievery, Beatrix.
As gifts.
Of course.
Do you know what's in this bag?
There shouldn't be too much of anything in there, though perhaps you might find a pendant from Marquise Lazuli in it.
And where does one get a bag like this?
I believe she procured it when she went on a trip to Athenas.
You know, I've never been to Athenas, but yet I feel like I have.
You probably have.
I mean, I've heard great things about a little restaurant there called the Lazy Ladle.
Oh, that's where I found Whitaker from. I'm sure you are very familiar with that.
What do you mean?
You've been scouring around this building. You know the memories in here.
But these aren't memories. These are actual trips through time. We were there.
Isn't that what memories are? Trips through time?
You're hurting my Billy brain.
Yes. Although we are able to apparently maybe make some changes.
But we were there at the Lazy Ladle and Billy's mom hadn't even been born yet.
Wait a minute. Are we able to make changes, or are the changes already done because of what we've done in the past?
Oh no.
I once had a very similar conundrum with that. Most things in time stay the same.
Blackjack, remember when we met Whitaker?
At the party or at Athena's?
In Athena's.
All right.
And remember how suddenly he was hired on for work
Right.
without any... Didn't that seem weird? There was no... It was just like, hey, I showed up here, met you, I want to hire you and give you work. Now think back to what we just did, where remember Whitaker, and I guess Whitaker was remembered, and instantly upon meeting them, they were hired.
Yeah, because we knew about the Pixie Puff potential.
Oribos, Your Grace, have we been a part of your life since you were a child? Do you remember us?
Strangely enough, more memories are coming back to me of your involvement.
Beatrix wants to go over and give you a hug.
You are
You should.
very cute as a little Eladrin.
Thank you. I hadn't quite figured out exactly how to get out of my father's shadow at that point.
Well, you've done a great thing for yourself here, and I feel like you have worked really hard to undo so much of the iron-fistedness of your father, and you got rid of that very gauche statue.
Your Grace, there's no fault that we can find in you. In all our investigations, what we are here to do is simply find out who killed Daisy, and also hopefully point us in the direction of the showrunner who we think is behind the murder of Daisy. So any more information that you could give us would certainly be helpful to our investigation.
I might. If you are willing to go into yet another memory, I believe this might be pertinent information, though it happened many years ago, so I'm unsure how exactly this might pertain, but perhaps fresh eyes getting a look at it might be better, and something tells me you've done this before anyway.
Billy reaches into his pocket. You want a Pixie Puff before we go?
I've been very fond of Pixie Puffs for a while, but I believe I'll have to pass.
Okay, more for me.
Beatrix walks over to Oribos and just, Your Grace, may I approach you for a moment?
Yes, you may.
So Beatrix is going to go over to Oribos and just put a little hand on Oribos' shoulder and eye contact, close, serious eye contact. I'm proud of you.
You see the look on his face get a little almost devastated, as if you get the sense he hasn't heard anybody say this to him in a very long time. Mm-hmm. And he reaches up and grabs your hand on his shoulder and gives your head a little squeeze, and thank you. That means a lot to me.
All right, on we go.
So, first of all, I will need you all to help me collect a few items. I'm sure, as you can tell, there's a bit of a mystery in this room.
Yeah, Billy did the math. It's not adding up.
You already found Rondura's item. I need something from Whitaker, Colleen, Abzul, Lewin, and my beloved Lady J. You will find it in this room.
Okay, everybody split up.
Everybody roll investigation.
Yeah, I'm going to give myself guidance on that.
Okay.
17.
14.
Twitch, as you're looking around, buried underneath some papers on the desk, you find an employment document that is signed by Whitaker and Oribos.
Billy got a 15.
As you're looking around, you notice on one of the bottom shelves of one of the bookshelves, you find a dwarven-made child's toy.
Zionsi also rolled a 15.
Looking around, you find, tucked in one of the drawers in the desk, you find Sios's holy symbol.
Beatrix also rolled a 15.
Appropriately for you, Beatrix, you find a key that matches the one that opened up Lady J's music box.
Oh.
So looking around, you at first don't see anything for Abzul, but you remember Oribos' words from earlier and check inside Rondura's bag, and you find a small lapis lazuli pendant. He grabs the items from you, and you notice that on one of the bookshelves there is an empty row, and on them are little plaques reading 1 through 6. And Oribos begins to carefully look through the items and sort them in their original order. When the last one is placed, you hear a small click, and the bookshelf swings open, leading into a smaller, hidden room. This room is cramped with old, dusty furniture and various junk, many of which is hidden under off-white cloths. Against the far back wall, you see the back of what looks to be a very large painting. This is where I stored all of my father's things when he passed. I didn't want to be reminded of his memories.
I think it's something you kept them at all.
I mean, honestly, Billy would have made a bonfire.
Right.
I believe you can call me sentimental, even to my detriment.
Yeah, that tracks, that tracks.
But I believe the memory I want you to see is contained in that portrait over there.
Oh.
Let's start walking over there.
Mr. Twitch, you should poke one. You haven't poked one yet.
Pull the sheet off in a slow reveal way.
On this painting, you see an older, stern-looking Eladrin. He is decorated in fine armor and stands before a ruined city. As you look closer, it seems as if his sharp emerald eyes follow your every movement.
This guy gives me the ick.
You can gather that this is a painting of Ulysses.
The one that was hanging out.
But we do not recognize him.
Right.
Kind of recognize him from the statue in Oribos's memory.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But like no one that we know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay, good.
Looking away from the painting, you find yourselves in what appears to be a dungeon of some sort. And echoing off the walls, you hear screams of pain and agony.
Are we alone?
Yeah, did Oribos come with us?
Did Oribos come with us?
Yes, he came with you.
Wow, okay. Your Grace, are we following you?
He looks around and he appears to be a little shaken before he pulls himself together. I can go with you if you wish.
It's our investigation, Blackjack.
You can stay right here.
I would rather not relive this if you don't mind.
That is what I was actually surprised that you were with us. So you just relax here, and we will actually go investigate this for you.
Very well. Head through that gate right there and head down the hallway and take your first left.
Before we go, anything we should know?
I want you to just witness what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, before Beatrix starts walking, she's going to go over and give him a little squooge on his shoulder. Pat, pat, squooge, and off we go.
Right.
So you open up the gate and head down a long, dark hallway.
Do we still hear the scream?
Yes, and it's getting a little louder.
It's a scream of one person. If it were to sound like anything, would it sound male?
Roll me a nature check.
That one.
Sick.
19.
So Blackjack, as you are coming a little closer to where Oribos told you to go, and you are hearing the screams and cries of pain, you also hear a deep growling underneath the screams. And it sounds almost like a dragonborn.
So let's head quickly as fast as we can.
Okay. So you take the long hallway and eventually take a left. And before you is a door. The taller of you can see kind of in this little slat through it, and you can see there is a blue dragonborn chained along the back wall. And the screaming has kind of stopped, and you see a stern, elderly Eladrin facing away from you, looking at the dragonborn. All right, Oribos, it is time to show me what you have learned so far. And in this little window, you see a young adult Oribos step forward. He looks at the various instruments before him and takes a deep breath. I will not do this, Father. What you're doing, this won't get the results that you're looking for. You see the Eladrin turn to face Oribos. You see a glint of anger and almost madness in his eyes as he sneers at Oribos. You are supposed to be my heir. Did I make a mistake in bringing you here? I could have very easily have left you. You see him pick up a strange dagger from the table full of other instruments, and he roughly shoves it into Oribos's hands. You will do what I command you to. or I can take everything away from you. And you watch as Ouroboros holds a stiletto dagger in his hand. You see this look of sadness as he thinks about maybe he has to do this. But then another look comes in his eyes. He turns the dagger. No, father, I will not do this. And in an instant, you see the dagger is plunged into Ulysses' chest. And with a great scream, Ulysses withers as the soul is sucked into the dagger. And with a horrified look on his face, Ouroboros drags it out and drops it. And the memory fades. And you're back once again in the hidden room in the private study.
The 9 Lives Stealer.
Your Grace,
I'm sorry.
what you went through is very difficult. It was a hard choice, but you made the right one.
I just couldn't continue his war, no matter what it cost.
Was he looking for information about the Blue Dragon
Yes,
to find General Colane?
General Colane's abduction wasn't as random as it seems.
Billy, what are you thinking here?
I always thought that as a soldier, it seemed very suspicious to me that Ulysses didn't try to rescue Colane for 200 frickin' years. That seems like a really long time to let your brother at arms rot. So, I mean, I was always a little suspicious that Ulysses very much on purpose did not go rescue Colane for one reason or another.
So that means that he has a grudge against Colane.
So he had Colane captured on purpose.
I believe his original intent was to figure out where the Blue Dragon's lair was.
So the idea was that he was thinking that Colane should have been killed by the Blue Dragon, not actually taken.
I believe so.
Ouroboros, we've asked you a couple of times about your mom, but we've never asked if you know who, your biological dad is.
Oh, by the way, we know you're adopted.
Again, we're not holding any of this against you. We think you are a great duke and it's the best thing for Bleakburn.
I can reveal a little bit of perhaps some of the questions that you might have. I learned a lot of this when my father passed, going through all of his stuff. It's a long story, so I will try to keep it as short as possible. There was one day my father fell in love with an Eladrin. Their families had gotten together to get her to be engaged to the original Duke Bleakburn. However, she ended up running away. She, I believe, recognized the cruelty in my father and didn't want anything to do with that. One day on the battlefield, when he was originally fighting with the Blue Dragon, a town got destroyed and he managed to find her again. But she was no longer able to be saved, but I was. And so he decided to take me in, count me as an original Bleakburn, and attempted to keep it a secret from everybody.
I have a question.
Yes.
So your mom was never actually married to your dad in a real showy way. So what was the story? That your dad just had an indiscretion?
I don't know too much about my biological father.
Well, I just meant was the story that Ulysses had some kind of indiscretion with a common lady and then he came back with you who is his, and then because they kept the adoption a secret, so then the people of Bleakburn were supposed to believe that Ulysses was your biological dad. So my question is, what was the story about why they weren't asking questions about you?
They feared my father too much.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. Really had not thought about that, but yeah.
If you want to live, you don't ask.
If you are controlling the press,
Yes.
you can pretty much say whatever you want.
And he burns the city down
Burns
for
it.
fun.
Right? Oh my.
I thought it was a cover-up, but it was really just
Fear.
let me flex.
Yeah.
Greetings and salutations, my friends. I'm Michael Cross. So great to have a moment to talk with you during this mid-show break. First off, I want to invite you all to join us as Patreon members. The money we raise helps us pay for things like the music and sound effects you hear on the show, as well as money to go to events and make new fans. When you become a Patreon member, you get our episodes 4 days early, bonus content, access to our Discord server, and full versions of our roundtable discussions. You'll be joining other fans like Scott Wise, Don Mills, Heath Mormon, and the Lady Kate. So join us right now at patreon.com/RedDirtDnD. Another way to support us is by getting your very own Red Dirt merchandise. You can find things like hats, hoodies, mugs, and t-shirts. Just click on the merch tab at reddirtdnd.com or reddirtrpg.com. Since 2020, the Red Dirt D&D podcast has been close to another Oklahoma actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast, D20 to Curtain. And me personally, I've had a chance to work on stage with some of the actors on the show. So when you get done with this episode, you should check them out.
Hello, fellow D&Ders. My name is Jerome.
I'm Jennifer. I'm Jody.
And together with our friends Kara, Timothy, and Jared, we are the cast of the D20 to Curtain podcast, where Oklahoma theater geeks and their friends hit record and explore our new addiction to Dungeons & Dragons.
We think D&D is more than just a game. It helps us tap into the enduring power of storytelling.
We combine live gameplay with behind-the-curtain episodes to share our experiences, insights, habits, discoveries, and passion for D&D with anyone who will listen.
We hope D20 to Curtain will make you laugh, cry, maybe even make your experience at your table even more satisfying. Check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts or visit us at d20tocurtain.com or at D20 to Curtain on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We look forward to having you. All we ask is that you have fun, be kind, and play the role.
If you're looking for more content, make sure to check out our YouTube page with Mysteries of Beatrix live every Wednesday. Keys from the Golden Vault from the Red Dirt Outlaws dropping every Tuesday at noon, and Plausible Deniability every other Thursday at 7 p.m. So come check it out at youtube.com/@RedDirtRPG or search for Red Dirt RPG on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. Find us on social media at Red Dirt RPG. You can also get in touch with us through our website at reddirtrpg.com. In the meantime, make sure and subscribe to this podcast and leave a comment on your favorite podcatcher so others can find us. All right, I think that's everything I need to tell you. Right now, let's head back to Red Dirt D&D.
I have one more question, Mr. Orobas.
Yes, Billy.
How did this war with the Blue Dragon start?
I believe it started over territory dispute. Both my father and the dragon were attempting to claim land that each of them believed was theirs by right.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And it dissolved into a vicious, bloody war.
Mm-hmm. And you know, a man like your father wouldn't be upset about that. Well, thank you for sharing this with us. I know it was very hard. Thank you for trusting us with some of your deepest pain. And I'm glad that you have found joy with Lady J, right?
I believe so.
Yes, and you will be a much better father, if that's what you want to do, than your dad ever was.
And certainly we've already found out a much better Duke.
Oh, yeah.
Bleakburn is successful because you are successful.
10 gajillion% better.
Thank you.
Beatrix can't stand it another moment. She just comes running over and gives you a big ol' hug. I am so proud of you, and I can't imagine how hard that was for you to do. And I also can't even fathom the number of lives that you, I'm sure, not only made better, but saved.
But also, we have to ask what happened to that knife after you killed your dad with it, because it's like, we're all thinking it, right?
You didn't see the complete memory.
Your Grace, unfortunately, all we saw was you dropping the dagger, and that was it. So what happened after...
Dagger droppage.
After what happened to my father happened, I wasn't going to keep up his habit of torturing those he captured.
Because you're a good man.
I let that Dragonborn go with the dagger for protection.
So you don't know what happened to that dagger? In between the incident with your father and what happened with Daisy, you had not seen that dagger at all, correct?
I have not.
And let me ask you this. Because you rescued Kalain and stuff, are you actively at war with the Blue Dragon right now?
No.
I'm just saying that the Blue Dragons, they maybe have a little bit of a grudge.
They might, but once I took over, I surrendered the land that my father had taken over. It wasn't ours to begin with.
For sure, but then you took her favorite dwarf toy.
Could be. I hadn't really thought she'd necessarily wait this long to seek revenge, but maybe.
They are very long-lived and...
I mean,
tend
like
to
a
hold grudges.
century for them is like a week.
Right. They tend to hold grudges for a very long time.
And you know, the whole deal with fighting with your dad is that they were both power hungry, so maybe they want Bleakburn now.
And we have told you, Your Grace, that we have fought a blue dragon, right?
I believe so.
Right. And knowing that blue dragons are very rare here in the Feywild, we are fairly certain the one that we fought was a child
Probably related.
of Ivnalia.
Yeah, so if she asks, we did not kill her son or daughter, child.
If you keep my secrets safe, I'll keep your secrets safe.
Excellent. Still doesn't solve the mystery of Daisy. This solves many other mysteries, many other questions Billy had.
I think it's time to go downstairs.
Is it time to talk to Mallory?
Do we go talk to Mallory? Wasn't there something else you said? We said there was something we needed to check out downstairs.
Downstairs. Remember we walked past that wine cellar? Mm-hmm. That Kimberly's pretty sure Jaska's staying in? Mm-hmm.
All right. Your Grace, we need to check out your wine cellar.
I will tell you without taking things away from my very dramatic reveal later on. Keep an eye on Rondura.
You should keep an eye on Rondura, and we also think possibly Mallory.
Yeah.
And also Lewin.
I think Lewin's fine.
I don't. He's a little suspiciously
He's a little
spacey.
We're the only trustworthy people in the manor right now.
He's a little flaky.
We've come full circle on Lady J. She seems good though.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, congratulations. I don't think we've told you that we are very proud of your relationship with...
We did.
Yeah.
When we first met Lady J, we said congratulations. Now we didn't know the thing.
No, since we've gotten to know him even better, we are very proud of you, and we give our blessing for what it's worth. Now, hopefully we can get this mystery solved and get our Jaska back, and you can be on your way with your life, and we can be on our way with ours.
Totally unrelated question. Did Daisy know about your adoptedness?
I believe so.
Interesting.
Daisy was very close to you.
She was.
Did Daisy have anything to do with you going to find General Colleen? Maybe even not right out, but just your love for her.
I used to also be very close to General Colleen before he was captured, and I didn't initially tell her I was going out on a rescue mission in case it failed.
Let me ask you this. General Colleen, with Ulysses, he was good pals. But Ulysses, no good person. No redeemable qualities that I can see. But Colleen seemed okay up until the whole thing. Why were they friends?
I believe my father kept a lot of things close to his chest.
Interesting.
And was able to fool many he was close to.
Manipulator.
I think also, Billy, General Colleen has proven himself to be quite a warrior. And if I was a duke that tried to hold things by force, having a powerful general at my side would be very important.
He beat me up real hard.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Oh, that was us, by the way.
Oh, that was you.
That was us.
It seems you all have been in my
We've
life
been getting
for
around.
apparently.
So if you don't mind, we'd like to head to your wine cellar. And in the meantime, if you could go look in on Rondura, especially look in on Mallory and make sure everyone is still where they should be.
I mean, I think we're gonna check Mallory out on our way down.
Okay, so let's go find Mallory.
So you all begin to head downstairs. Taking the spiral staircase down, you enter into the foyer. When you hear the grandfather clock begin to chime, and 1 chime, 2 chimes, 4, Blackjack, your spider Vin once again wargs through your eyes. And you see Lady J begin coughing and hacking as you're watching a dark red liquid begins to seep from her mouth. and everything goes dark. And a few moments later, at the final chime of midnight, your vision comes back through Spider-Vin's eyes, and you see the body of a succubus lying dead on the ground, blood coming from her mouth, a dagger coming from her chest.
Blackjack, you okay? You're just standing there, like, why your head's in your hand like that?
No, I just had a vision through Spider-Fin. Lady J is dead.
What?
What?
Something has happened.
And Ouroboros takes off.
And everybody runs after Ouroboros.
So you all book it after Ouroboros, and he quickly makes his way through the ballroom in his panic, shoving people out of the way, throwing the door open, and tossing the dice into the metal basin and pulling the door open, where all of you see the same sight that Blackjack saw, a succubus on the ground with a knife through her chest.
Who else is in the room?
Rondura, Abzul, Whitaker, and Kolain. Ouroboros gives a mournful cry as he slides down next to Lady J and appears to look her over before crying as he realizes her life force is no longer there.
Who did this? I'll look at the others in the room.
You see all of them are very shocked. They all appear rattled.
The lights went out.
Who's
No
missing?
one could see anything.
Mallory. Where's Mallory?
No one else could get into this room, Your Grace, is that correct? Without the dice.
That is correct.
But they could get out.
But Mallory wasn't in this room.
Mallory wasn't in this room. Mallory was questioning other people in the other part of the...
She's in the dining room.
So it wasn't her. So, or it wasn't Mallory. Then someone else could have been in this room and...
It would have had to have been someone in this room.
Yeah. Okay.
Billy guards the door. Nobody is leaving this room.
Xionsi wants to start checking out walls and ceilings for secret entrances and exits.
Okay.
A natural 18. So with the modified 20 if I use perception.
So looking around, you do see that there are other doors in the sitting room, but as far as secret doors, doesn't look like it.
Where do the other doors go?
You guys never inspected, but you do know that one of the rooms does go through a other study that Ouroboros had given you the blackmail material from.
Yeah, that was the one that Rondura was trying to break into, right? Or was
No.
she trying to get into the one upstairs?
The one upstairs.
Okay.
Did anyone hear a door open and close while it was dark?
Rondura speaks up. No, she just started coughing and hacking, and we didn't know what happened.
Billy gives Rondura a dirty look.
General Kolain, did you see anything?
Kolain has a drink in his head. He says, what are you all talking about? I'm having a great time.
Insight check.
Okay.
16.
8.
He's acting like normal.
How about you guys grab a drink?
Yes. Could you grab me a drink, please, General? Thank
Sure.
you. All right. So I turn to Whitaker.
It's the only person in here who maybe will tell the truth.
Whitaker, you and I have been friends
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
several hours.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you remember, but 10 years ago, you served us at...
The lazy ladle.
Lazy Ladle.
Back when you were
That was
just
the first time you ever met the Duke. Do you remember that?
fresh out of culinary school.
You see him take a second to think, and he goes, yeah, I do.
It was...
We gave you the idea for these pixie puffs.
That's right, yeah.
Yes, I remember the Duke was there with Lady J.
That's, what? No? What? Are you all right?
I was just checking.
Good check.
I know. I
Almost had it.
I know. I was really hoping. Anyway, do you remember what it was we ordered? I mean, that's really hard.
That's really
10
hard.
years ago.
I mean, I think we know that this is him.
I'm trying. You obviously what I'm doing. I'm trying to determine this is the same Whitaker we met 10 years ago. So with
knowing that Lady J wasn't there.
With an insight of 21, am I getting the sense that this is the same Whitaker?
Oddly, although he's saying the right things, something is off.
How did you meet the Duke?
At the Lazy Ladle.
Have you ever purchased pixie powder?
Yeah?
Right. Do you know what it does?
It makes you kind of shimmery, kind of glowy.
It also turns one invisible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, let's find out. Why don't you empty your pockets and your bag?
Wait. So you're insisting that's me. I murdered Daisy. That's what you're saying. I'm the one who did it. I love Daisy. She was like a friend to me. Like a best friend.
But we don't think you are who you say you are.
Why would I not be who I say I am?
Here's what we know. The murder weapon was in the possession of a dragonborn for a number of years. You are a kobold. Is this racist of me? A little.
I mean, I'm not all dragonborn and kobolds know each other.
No, they do not. But what if you knew them? Listen, here's what we know. Rondura, not a murderer, but yes, definitely a bad person.
Let me ask you a question. Is Pixie Puffs made out of pixies?
Are you insane? No, I don't make them out of pixies, okay? It's just the name of the thing. That would be kind of messed up if I did that.
And what are they made out of?
Pastry stuff, breading, maybe some cream filled,
Do you know what pixie powder is made out of? Dead pixies!
I didn't know that.
If nothing else, you are an accomplice to pixie poaching.
Well, I just thought because the name of the Pixie Puffs is also the same, so I thought maybe Pixie Powder was just supposed to be a thing because pixies kind of glow and
No, Rumple kills them by the dozens.
Oh my
dries
gosh.
out their bodies, puts them in something called a blender.
Well, wait a minute. Where did you get yours?
I got it from this guy named Rumple. He was telling me about how great it is, how shimmery it makes your scales.
Listen.
And I thought he made a great deal, and
And in 2 to 4 weeks, Rumple will be dead.
What?
Don't worry about it.
But you need to pay for your accomplishedness.
I want to look around at everybody else. Rondura, Abzul, and Colleen. What are their reactions? We are grilling Whitaker.
While he's doing that, right in front of everyone, I'm gonna slowly start weaving my hands in front of me and pull a shadow spawn out behind me.
So, Blackjack, as you're looking around, you see Abzul seems to be more focused on trying to comfort Oribos, as Oribos seems to be just devastated over what happened to Lady J. And Colleen is busy behind the little mini bar fixing up the drink that you ordered him to do earlier. Rondura, however, as you're posing all these questions to Whitaker, looks more nervous than she did a moment ago.
Red Dirt D&D Tales from the Wilds is Connor Shenold as Jaska and our Dungeon Master, Johnny Payne as Twitch, Kiri Hester as Billy, Kim Cross as Beatrix, Brooke Bullock as Zionsi, and I'm Michael Cross as Blackjack. The showrunner for Campaign 2 is Aidan Cross. Our theme music was created by the cinemagician PJ Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Monument Studios, Sirenscape, Describe.com, and TabletopAudio.com. Dice for the Red Dirt D&D cast provided by SD Way Gaming. You can find us at reddirtdnd.com. If you enjoy the new campaign of Red Dirt D&D, make sure to subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/reddirtdnd at whatever giving level works best for you. Join us next time as we travel farther into the wilds.
I know romance isn't for everybody.
Billy cannot read, but I like the pictures on the front.
Fabio.
Interesting.
It's not Rondura's bag. It's just a bag that looks like Rondura's
it's just a bag that looks like
It's
hers.
just matchies. They went through the same convention and got a gift bag.
They both gave money to
Yes.
public radio, and they both
Yes.
got the same tote bag.
Yeah. It's not the same bag. It is a similar bag.
I've been very fond of Pixie Puffs for a while, but I believe I'll have to pass.
Okay, so before
Okay, bootstrap paradox here. Who created the Pixie Puff?
right,
Yeah, Billy did the math. It's not adding up. I cannot read, but I can math.
Billy's ACT scores for the math are way through the roof.
Put it in a word problem, though, you completely lose me.
You find an employment document that is signed by Whitaker and Oribos.
He found his W-2.
His I-9.
Yeah.
Your Grace, we seem to have found all the items.
We are all Hufflepuffs. We are very good finders.
You are. Thank you very much. I believe you can call me sentimental, even to my detriment.
Yeah, that tracks. You're not a Pisces by chance, are you?
Maybe.
Cancer. One of the feelings ones for sure. Definitely a water sign. Yeah, did Oribos come with us?
Did Oribos come with us?
Yes, he came with you.
Wow. Okay.
Well, welcome to my nightmare.
Yeah. All right. So he had Colleen captured on purpose.
I believe his original intent was to figure out where the Blue Dragon's lair was.
Ah, so he put him in undercover and then abandoned him.
Or did he pull a Uriah on him?
That's exactly where I was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I don't know when to get
Exactly
that
where I
one.
was. Uriah.
I'm with you.
Boom, Uriah.
It's a biblical story about a man that King David wanted killed, and so he had
So that
everybody.
he could have.
He had every.
So he
he
could
sent
have
Uriah
Uriah's
up front.
wife.
But Bathsheba.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent Uriah up front and then pulled everybody back
Oh, so
in the hopes that Uriah would die, and Uriah did die.
Similarly, that's also the story of the general in And Then There Were None. He found out that his wife was having an affair with someone, and so he sent that guy to the front lines.
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is an age-old story.
Beatrix can't stand it another moment. She just comes running over and gives you a big old hug. And it's
Beatrix, you can't just go hugging a duke.
I'm just doing this anyway.
Is she allowed to do
I'm
that?
just hugging.
I let that Dragonborn go with the dagger for protection.
I had dragon in human form on my bingo card.
Is it time to talk to Mallory?
Or is it time to bring them all back into a...
Listen, I'm not ready for that kind of dramatic reveal yet. We don't know who solved. We haven't solved the murder.
Okay, Hercule Poirot.
Well, I have a
General Colleen, did you see anything?
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm in character. Because, I mean,
But we don't think you are who you say you are.
why would I not be who I say I am?
I don't know.
Because you are being played by Aiden the showrunner.
What?
Showrunner.
First this Kiri name, now this Aiden name.
Okay, so
Who's the real Billy?
here's what we know. In 2 to 4 weeks, Rumpel will be dead.
What?
Don't worry about it.
But you need to pay for your accomplishedness.
Which is a word.
you and your accomplicism.
Oh,
Because we're all thinking it, right?
you didn't see the complete memory.
I guess not.
I guess not.
Right.
I mean, you'd have to give us more information to know if we saw the complete memory.
Connor, did we see the complete memory? Okay, good. Let's make sure
still
we
in
didn't
his
forget
chest.
something.
Did I power nap?
The dagger dropped and said, "To be continued."
That's the last we
Seinfeld.
saw was the dropped.
Yeah, it's the Seinfeld music.